A budget beast defined by its colossal 7,000 mAh battery and segment-leading performance. But does the camera keep up? In the fiercely competitive mid-range smartphone arena, manufacturers often play a game of balance, sacrificing one feature to highlight another. However, with the release of the Realme P4x 5G in late 2025, Realme seems to have tipped the scales entirely in favor of raw power and endurance. Positioned as a direct successor to the performance-centric P-series lineage, the P4x arrives with a clear manifesto to kill battery anxiety and deliver high frame rate gaming on a budget. But with a price tag hovering around the $200 mark, approximate 15,999 Indian rupees, has Realme cut too many corners on the display and camera to fit that massive battery? Let's dive deep into what makes this phone tick. Design and build. Industrial aesthetics meet heavyweight durability. The first thing you notice when picking up the Realme P4x is its heft. Weighing in at 208 with a thickness of 8.39 millimeters, this is not a device that disappears into your pocket. However, considering it houses a Titan 7,000 mAh battery, the engineering is actually quite impressive. It feels substantial rather than brick-like. Realme calls this their aerospace design, which translates to a matte finish available in matte silver, elegant pink, and light green. The back panel is resistant to fingerprints, a welcome change from the glossy magnets of yesteryear. The camera module is a bold, circular island that commands attention, though it protrudes enough to make the phone wobble on a flat surface. Durability is a strong suit here, featuring an IP64 dust and water resistance rating and reinforced armor shell corners that promise survival against 1.5-meter drops. It's built like a tank, and for many clumsy users, that is a feature in itself. Display. Speed over quality. The display is arguably the most polarizing aspect of the Realme P4x. The phone sports a 6.72-inch FHD plus LCD panel. Yes, in 2026, an LCD screen might feel like a step backward when competitors are flaunting AMOLEDs. However, Realme justifies this with speed. The panel boasts a blistering 144 Hz refresh rate, a feature rarely seen outside of dedicated gaming phones. For daily scrolling and UI navigation, the fluidity is undeniable. The screen is snappy, responsive, and supports a peak brightness of 1000 nits, HBM, which is sufficient for outdoor legibility, though not blindingly bright. The trade-off, of course, is the contrast. Blacks are dark gray, and colors lack the punchy saturation of an OLED panel. If you are a movie buff who loves deep blacks, this might disappoint. But if you are a gamer who prioritizes frame rates over contrast ratios, this display is tuned exactly for you. Performance and hardware, the segment king. This is where the Realme P4x flexes its muscles. Under the hood lies the MediaTek Dimensity 7400 Ultra 5G chipset. Built on a 4nm process, this SoC is a significant leap over the previous generation, offering flagship-grade efficiency and raw CPU power. In synthetic benchmarks like Antutu, the P4x scores well above its weight class, hitting nearly 780,000 points, leaving competitors like the Vivo T4x in the dust. Real-world performance mirrors these numbers. Multitasking is a breeze thanks to UFS 3.1 storage and up to 18 GB of dynamic RAM, 8 GB physical plus 10 GB virtual. Gaming is the P4x's raison d'etre. It is one of the few phones in this segment optimized to run BGMI and Call of Duty Mobile at 90 FPS consistently. To keep thermals in check, Realme has integrated a massive 5300 Superscript 2 VC FrostCore cooling system. Even after an hour of intensive gaming, the phone remains surprisingly cool, barely touching 41 degrees Celsius. For the price, the performance-to-cost ratio here is nearly unbeatable. Camera, a functional compromise. If the performance is the headline, the camera system is the footnote. The P4x features a dual camera setup, a 50MP primary sensor, and a 2MP monochrome lens. There is no ultra-wide shooter, which is a sore omission for landscape lovers. The main 50MP shooter is capable enough in daylight. Images come out with decent dynamic range and Realme's signature color pop, slightly saturated but pleasing to the eye. The ultra clarity mode does resolve a good amount of detail. However, as the light drops, so does the quality. Low-light shots are often grainy, and the aggressive noise reduction tends to smudge fine details. The 8MP front camera is serviceable for video calls and casual selfies, but struggles with exposure control in bright backgrounds. Video recording on the rear caps at 4K 30 frames per second, which is a nice inclusion, but the lack of OIS, optical image stabilization, means handheld footage can be jittery. In short, it captures memories clearly, but it won't win any photography awards. Battery and charging, the Titan endurance. The absolute star of the show is the 7,000 mAh Titan battery. In an era where 5,000 mAh is the standard, the P4x offers essentially 40% more juice. The battery life is nothing short of phenomenal. Heavy users can expect nearly 2 full days of usage on a single charge. You can game for 6 hours straight, watch a few movies, and still have power left for the next morning. It is a liberation from the wall socket. When you do need to plug in, the 45W Ultra Charge support is decent, though not the fastest. Charging a 7,000 mAh cell takes time. Expect around 0 to 100% in roughly 70 to 80 minutes. While slower than the 67W or 80W competitors, the trade-off for multi-day battery life is one most users will happily accept. Software, clean and current. The Realme P4x ships with Realme UI 6.0 based on Android 15. The latest iteration of Realme's skin is much cleaner than previous versions, with streamlined animations and fluid cloud features that mimic dynamic island functionality for notifications. While there is still some pre-installed bloatware, mostly removable, the software experience is generally smooth and highly customizable. Realme has promised 2 years of OS updates and 3 years of security patches, ensuring the phone stays relevant until at least Android 17. Price and verdict. Price. 6GB per 128GB, 15,999 Indian rupees, $190. 8GB per 256GB, 19,499 Indian rupees, $230. The Realme P4x 5G is a masterclass in targeted engineering. It does not try to be the best phone for everyone. Instead, it aims to be the perfect phone for a specific type of user, the power user on a budget. If you value a lightweight design, premium camera versatility, or an AMOLED screen, you should look elsewhere. But if your priorities are raw gaming performance, unbeatable battery life, and durability, the Realme P4x is unrivaled in its price bracket. It is a marathon runner with the heart of a sprinter. Bulky, yes, but it will keep going long after the competition has died.